Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to It's in the Blood. We're going to sit here today and hopefully have an afternoon of enjoyment for our beloved Indiana Hoosiers, both for accolades on the football field, and we're going to talk about the upcoming basketball season during today's game. I chose today's game not because I felt like it was I would say a easy win, but I felt like it's a game that they're going to have to show some a different type of uh, readiness to play, and I wanted to see how they responded after a huge win out there in Oregon last week. That is probably remarkable for us. We've never been known as a football school. A lot of things have been rolling through my head over the last few weeks uh, about the state of Indiana sports, period, and what happens to the NIL with this Signetti 8-year extension. How do they divide money up between college basketball and football now that they are basically becoming a two-sport university? We're going to talk about any of that stuff. Anybody that has any questions today, please post them in the chat as we chill out. As you know, there will be no live audio. I will give a game call just because I like to do that, not necessarily because I'm good at it, but it's a lot of fun and I get to enjoy my football teams and my basketball team. So that's kind of how today is going to roll out. I look forward to spending some time with y'all. I usually get a good influx of Hoosier fans, but I'm never disrespectful to the opposing team because I do put their tags in my description and so on and so forth. And I always like to hear a competitor's view. So if you're a Michigan State fan, if you're an Ohio State fan, a Michigan fan, just talking Big Ten in general, be respectful and hang out. I do have good mods that will take care of things that if they get out of hand. And we're going to sit in here today and enjoy uh, a very diverse college football season. What is up, Miss Lindsay? Who Day, Thursday night football. I was doing my live stream, Miss Lindsay, on the other channel, and I had all these Pittsburgh Steeler fans in there talking smack to me during my treasure hunting live stream, and it didn't turn out that great for them Pittsburgh Steelers on Thursday night. If you want to bring up a little bit about that game too, while we're in the midst of waiting through and seeing how things are going to roll out, please, you can talk a little NFL. Uh, my knowledge base is pretty diverse because I love sports. So anything that you want to bring up, please do. We can talk Colts, we can talk Bengals, we can talk just about anything, but we're going to enjoy the game at the same time. I'm going to take a look and see how close we are to starting. We're within a few minutes. But, all things considered, Lindsay, there's a part of me that wasn't so worried about this season at this point. Get things fixed, play your young players, and get ready for next year. But if somebody can come in and win games, and we can get to a point where Joe is healthy and allowed and able to play again, I'm all for that as well. It's Big Saturday on Peacock today, and we got the Michigan State Spartans who have struggled this year. I think they started out pretty decent, but Big Ten play has put a hurting on them, and they run an offense that I don't think is very conducive to their quarterback that they have. I believe his name is Childs. And he took a hard hit last week, just coming back from concussion protocol, so he may be in and out. and so we don't really know what we're going to see here today, but I know that we're going to look for a team that has to respond after winning big. This might be the most energetic environment that they've came home to in ever. That was the first time in 48 games that they had won a game on the road against a top 5 opponent. That just doesn't happen in Indiana University football. And yes, Lindsay, UC football, Luke Fickle left. I really felt bad about your program at that point. He went to Wisconsin. He's struggling up there, but UC's on the comeback. I do watch them a little bit, and I probably will tonight to have some more knowledge about the team. Mr. Rob, what's going on? Mr. Rob is leading our fantasy football pick'ems this year again. Somebody's got to dethrone this guy. But did you see Otani last night? Oh my God, that was unreal. Do you know it? I'll tell you what it reminded me of. It reminded me of Kirk Gibson. Go back and watch those clips. That's how I felt when I watched it. Every time he came to bat, I saw the man that he knew what he was going to do when he saw that pitch, and I couldn't believe it. Uh, Only by one, but you know what? Winning is still winning. You got to take the good with the bad. If you're up 5, you're up on me by about 8. So I had a couple really rough weeks there trying to get my stuff together. We got a great group in the CBS Sports Pick'em. Um, it's a little late to be super competitive, but if you want to sign up for it, I'm sure you can find it in the description of other videos. I didn't have time to set up today. Michigan State's going to take the field. Their captain, junior quarterback Childs, is going to play. It looks like he's got his helmet on. And if you haven't seen this Indiana football team this year, today is a great day to watch if you can. They're on Peacock Network. There is a lot of future pros on this team. We're going to talk about the development of players in this system that are moving forward to the NFL. And we had a couple of them drafted last year. Both of those guys are on the San Francisco 49ers. We got a punt returner that's on the Minnesota Vikings. Uh, Not a lot of heritage for producing NFL talent coming out of Indiana. But right now, Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback, his name is going straight up the charts, closing in on maybe a number one type quarterback pick because of the season that he's having. Very down home, good kid out there playing QB. His younger brother is on the roster, but you got receivers like Elijah Surratt and Omar Cooper Jr. on both outsides. You have Roman Hemby as a running back from the transfer portal, and he is absolutely electric. Indiana is the number one rushing offense in the Big Ten. I can go on and on all day long talking about this stuff, but this is Kurt Signetti is now the third highest paid coach, and in college football right now. Sorsby is from IU. You're absolutely correct. Uh, this program's growing, and I never thought when we started this channel that I would be excited in here over Indiana football. But it's actually one of those things now that's become super exciting for me. I got Ohio State on over here. Um, I got the score just above us with my special new background for It's in the Blood. Hope you guys like it. It makes me smaller so you don't have to see it. Yeah, but was it Brendan Sorsby, Lindsay? But yeah, I saw where he transferred to UC. Uh, just another guy that can really game, and just there wasn't enough room for him here at IU, I believe. Taven Jackson left after last year as well, and he had games won, and he was set to, still be on the roster this year. So lot of talent in these quarterback rooms, but it's a great thing to have a depth in that position, especially in the college football landscape. But yeah, um, back to Shohei last night, dude, just was balling, man. I mean, it had the Kirk Gibson feel. I get the feeling that the Dodgers are on a mission. Uh, Baseball pisses me off because of how the salary cap works in baseball. Basically, when you hit the luxury tax, is when teams stop paying people. It makes it really hard for small market teams like my Reds. Congratulations to them for making the playoffs under Terry Francona in his first year. Listen, you got me on topics today that I just can't ever get enough of. Hopefully, some of our good normal Hoosier faithful will stop in today and ask some questions. But I got some food for thought on NIL going forward and watching college basketball this year. It's going to be a different landscape. Indiana had their first exhibition game last night against Marion, and they came out doing all these things that we've said that we want for our program. Shooting the three ball. Trent Sisley, our freshman, a name that's going to be able to be remembered. Put up about 23 points last night. Perfect from behind the arc. Played all phases of the game very well. That is a Mike Woodson holdover. So that's exciting. But just so you know, we have got 79 degrees today here in Bloomington. And it is a perfect fall day, almost like a late summer day, to be honest, especially for this part of the country. Usually we're dipping into the 60s by now, but it's still almost 80 degrees outside. And we're rocking. If anybody is interested, top left corner of the screen, scan it with your telephone. It is a safe code. If you want to try an energy supplement made by Dubby, that is our code. Our discount code is BloodFam, and we have kicked off at Indiana. Kickoff will go out of the back of the end zone, and the Sparty will start on the 25. Everybody look down at the bottom of the screen. You got the snowman in the house. Good buddy up there at Snowman Multimedia. Always got sports all the time. And you know what he is better than as a sports announcer? He's been a better friend. So thank you for stopping by, Snowman. Appreciate you, Mr. Brian. Much love to you and your family. Hopefully you're doing well. Childs will start under center at the 25. And here we go. Indiana's got a 4-man front. They rush 5. The handoff is dropped off. He's caught behind the line of scrimmage, and he's going to be taken down for a 2-yard loss as they rushed 5, blitz 2, had 7 in the box there. Indiana gets the knockdown on Mekhi Frazier or Nick Marsh. I'm sorry, Nick Marsh. Maybe that might have been who had it. The wide receiver couldn't tell. It's either 5 or 6. It will be 2nd down and about 13 to go for Michigan State. Childs is in the gun. Another 4-man set. Man in motion to the right. Back to pass. Here comes the blitz. He gets it out. It's tipped. It's caught behind the line of scrimmage, and it will make it back to the line of scrimmage. Looks like it's going to bring a 3rd down and about 13. Johnny Small Pepper in the house. What up, my brother? Good to see you. Just so you know, in case you didn't hear, I got my amazing seed package in. I'm going to be reaching out about wintertime growth patterns for some of these plants and how to do so. So if you could send me some references, that would be fantastic because I do want to start some of these plants early. 3rd and 13. Indiana looks like they're setting up in an all-out blitz. They drop 2 back into cover 2. It's not a blitz. They're going to let him wind it out, fire it downfield wide open. He gets a man out to the 42 in the middle of that zone. Childs rears back and fires it. When he has time to throw the ball, he is an excellent quarterback, but Indiana called off all the dogs and dropped everybody into coverage, and the play had time to develop. Number 1 with the catch going across the middle. 1st down, Michigan State. We are back at the line of scrimmage. Ball is at the 42, 1st and 10. Childs is in the gun. Here goes off. There is the handoff to number 4. He breaks a tackle and gets to the outside for a 6-yard gain. That is Tolliver. Pardon me if I butcher your name, sir, but it was a nice run. Tolliver. Indiana's starting lineup has a lot of good-looking players. Get names like D'Angelo Pons. You will hear that name in the NFL. Aiden Fisher. You will hear that name in the NFL next year. These guys are going to be pros. 2nd and 4 under center. There's a handoff. Nice run up the middle, and Tolliver gets a 1st down and runs it into Indiana territory. Michigan State has come out here today and started out. They're going back to the run. They need to be able to run the ball today, and they have not given up on it yet. Little lackluster on the defensive side for Indiana there. Nice big hole presented by the offensive line. Big gainer. 1st and 10. Ball is at the 43. Childs is under center, and here is the snap. Play action. Looking down the field. Has time. Fires it to the outside. And I don't think he came down in bounds. He caught the ball, but he was knocked out of bounds in the air. That is Kelly. What do I think about Penn State firing their coach? Well, I think it's a long time in the coming. Drew Alar, their quarterback, had a season-ending injury, and I think those in charge did not like the start to the season. They did not like the loss to UCLA, who was 0-4 at the time. And I think rather than waiting till the end of the year, they wanted to start their coaching search early. That is why James Franklin was let go. Handoff up the middle, a nice tackle coming through off the edge. I believe that was Kamara with the hit. No, it was Aiden Fisher. That dude is a boss, NFL prospect. But I do like the idea. Their season's pretty much done with their pro prospect quarterback being out, a 2 game losing streak. The home loss to Oregon, you can swallow. You don't like it. Oregon was top notch, but going to UCLA and losing that really affected them. And then losing I can't remember where they lost the third game. Back to pass. Childs fires over the middle on time, and it is stopped just short of a first down on 3rd and 10. It's going to be decision time for the Sparty. We're going to see what they do here. And Coach Smith is walking, pacing the sidelines. Jonathan Smith, he's in his second year at Michigan State, I believe, and it looks like he's going to leave his offense on the field. What up, Ringo and Czar? How are you doing today, sir? It is 4th down and 1. They have got the 3 wideouts to the right, lined up, 12 on the play clock. They check it down. What a pass. A screen play to the right gets a first down. The outside guy steps back towards the line of scrimmage on the break, and he hit him with a quick dart, and the defenders were too far off the ball. 3-on-2. Perfect play for Michigan State on 4th down. Makes me cringe seeing it, but hey, nobody jumped in the passing lane. First down. That was Marsh. All right. Ball is at the 25. Michigan State has methodically moved it down the field. Childs is under in the gun, set up on play. 3 wideouts to the left, 1 running back to his left. 4 on the play clock. Back to pass. Play action, looking down the field. Sutter steps around, fires it deep to the outside, incomplete. Overthrows his target in the end zone. Childs let one rip, and it's an overthrow. Michigan looked good today, Ringo. I love how they swarm at the defense for tipped balls and making interceptions. They really got a knack for that. Your defensive line is getting their hands up. Your running game looks like it's coming back. Michigan's on a growth pattern again, sir. 2nd down and 10. Childs is back, hands off. There goes. He runs through the hole. He's going to get, but I think this was blown down before the play clock. Yes, pre-snap penalty. False start on the offense. Over on the other channel, Ohio State's getting their first crack at Wisconsin Day. We are back to 2nd and 15 now. Ball is back to the 30. Indiana's got 3 on the line, and they rush 4. Here comes pressure. They check down, gets it out, and he is going to be tackled at the line of scrimmage. No gain, 3rd down. Once again, Aiden Fisher with the big hit. I want some of these guys on my Bengals team next year. Fisher would be a good one. Fisher did not make the hit. He was next in line. Hoosier fans are waving their towels. It's 3rd and 15. 4 wide outs. 1 comes back to behind in the backfield. There is the snap. Back to pass. Looking down the field. Childs checks it down. His running back's got blockers out ahead. He is going to be stopped after a 10-yard gain. That is Tullis. And it will be 4th down and 5. I would think that they would bring their field goal kicker out, but we shall see. What games are everybody looking forward to watching tomorrow in the NFL? What's the big games out there tomorrow? Who does everybody look to see? 38-yard field goal attempt. Kick is up and away, straight on and good, and Michigan State will take the early lead, 3-0. This is what I hate about Peacock. When you watch a game live on Peacock, ESPN scoreboard is faster. So if you want to know what happens, just keep looking up. Very impressive drive by Michigan State. They ran with a lot of balance. Uh, they did a very good job of basically disguising their play calls, except for the first 4 downs. They had a little bit of trouble, and then they went all the way down the field. Monday Night Lions. Lions are playing who on Monday night? I know it's a good one. My brain, I can only go one day at a time. Oh, the Bucks. Oh my gosh, Ringo and Rob battling it out on Monday night. Wow. So I will say this. Let me say this for everybody out there. Detroit probably has the better roster, right? But I don't think anybody has any more heart at the quarterback position right now than Baker Mayfield. If you want to win, Ringo, on Monday night, you better be up by 2 scores in the last 5 minutes of the second half with the ability to help kill the clock when you get the ball back, because Mayfield is going to drive down and score. He's got a knack for fourth quarter 2-minute drill. He's got a knack for throwing the ball in the right place. You don't want to give him a chance to win in the waning moments of that game. Ohio State is kind of methodically moving the ball down the field. Uh, oh my God, they just had a tipped pass on saying, and but there was a pre-snap penalty. I'm just saying that seems to be the key right now. If you want to beat Tampa Bay, you best be ahead by 2 scores. Uh, Baker Mayfield has given me memories of watching Peyton Manning. I swear, if there's any chance that he can win a game in a fourth quarter, he's gonna win it right now. You have got to be able to control the ball. This team is rallied around them. They're not the best team. They are. They're literally not. Detroit has a much better roster right now. But yeah, if you better be hoping that you're up 9 points with less than 5 minutes to go if he has the ball. He is going to give it a run. It's exciting to watch Tampa. It's exciting to watch Detroit. Detroit puts up numbers. I love the running backs. Jameer Gibbs is truly a playmaker in the league. He's very, very tough to stop. And I love the receiving core there. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I love Jameis Williams. Um, dude, I love the tight end. You've got it. You've got all the pieces. It should be a fun game to watch. All right, 1st and 10. Indiana's got the ball at the 25 after the touchback. They're going to go run it. Mendoza checks it down to Hemby. Hemby is going to be tackled for a loss. Michigan State crowded the line of scrimmage. Indiana used the check down. Ranked 3rd in the nation. Went into Oregon last week and beat that ass. Headed for a college football playoff. Just got to keep winning games. Here's the game. This game is way more important because you're supposed to win this game. You got to come out and show that you have the mentality to play after a big win. 2nd down and 12. Back to pass. Plenty of time. Checks it down. Hemby makes the grab, but he drops it. It's going to be 3rd down. And Indiana is on the verge of a 3-and-out. Yeah, Miami lost on Friday. You got an opportunity here, but this is the kind of game that you want to see how well you respond after a big time win. All right, 14 on the play clock, third down and 12. Looks like Michigan State's going to rush forward. Back to pass, looking down the field, fires over the middle, and that is caught for a first down. And that is blah blah blah. I can't say his name. He's normally not on the field. He's normally on punt returns, I believe. Jonathan Brady. There you go. Indiana runs a two-back offense. Hemby, who's just got the or play action, checks it down, gets it out, and that is to number 3. That is Omar. I can't even get their names out right now. Uh, Omar Williams Jr., Omar Cooper Jr. There's two of them there together, about the same. Cooper Jr. and Williams, I believe. And then Elijah Surratt is number 13. Second down and 3, trying to get ahead of the sticks. Hemby's back in behind the line of scrimmage. Mendoza's in the gun. Play action. No, he hands it off to Hemby and he barrels forward this time, gets the first down. Looks like it's going to be about a 6-yard gain. They will move the ball into positive territory. First and 10. Southern USF. That's another program down there that is traditionally loaded. Florida football in high school is a very, very loaded state. Lots of big universities that snatch that talent up, but a lot of good football players in high school down there. First and 10, back to pass, fires it over the middle, catches it on the slant. Another first down. Mendoza with a strike. EJ Williams makes the grab. Nice throw, great pocket. This offensive line, led by former Notre Dame national champion Pat Coogan, who transferred in this year as Notre Dame was going to replace him as center up there. And he has been instrumental and a captain. And there goes Mendoza with the keeper. A lot like the same play that Indiana ran last night, letting Joe Flacco with the 13-yard run. Mendoza gets about 6 here. Nebraska's got a great quarterback, and Matt Rule is a great coach for college. He just did not work out in Carolina, but what coach can work out in Carolina with that ownership down there? Sorry, Adam, if you're in the chat, but the ownership in Carolina just ruins head coaches. Matt Rule got a hefty payday for getting fired, though. Back to pass. Mendoza's looking, steps up, fires first down. That is to the tight end. I do not know his name, number 37. Looking at the day go by. Brian Shanahan is the play caller, and you know that name, Shanahan, very big time NFL coaching family. Indiana's drives 8 plays, 54 yards. There's the handoff, and Hemby busts through it. Oh my word, what a run. 7 yards on first down. Replace that. It is Kalon Black, the second running back that has come in for that play, and he made a nice run straight up the middle. 3:33 left to go in the first quarter. Both teams have been very methodical on offense, playing clock and ball control, running and passing. It would go down the field. There's the pitch, and it goes out. He cuts back against the grain on 2nd and 3, gains about a yard and a half, and it will be 3rd and short. If I was Indiana, I would run right up the gut again behind that center. Pat Coogan is amazing. What a great pickup as he transferred from Notre Dame. Can't believe they were going to replace him. 3rd and 2. They'll give him credit for one on the last play. There is a snap, back to pass. Mendoza rolls out, fires it, caught. It's going to run down to the 5, the 3, dives for the end zone, and no signal yet, but it looks like they say it's a touchdown, and he says he gets in. They're going to have to look at this one because he dove for the. We got to see where he went down. And it looks like he made it. Saw that IU got a little nervous about Signetti leaving. Yeah, he's down. I don't think that's a touchdown. I didn't think so in the beginning. They marked him as in. I think they're going to bring it back to the 1-inch line. I saw that Indiana was a little nervous. Let me bring that up. That's a great comment to show. So they went ahead and gave him his extension, and it's been earned, right? What better time down right there? What better time to give an extension? Penn State had already said that he was on their short list. And when a superpower team from your own conference is going to go after your coach, it's what you have to do. You have to protect your asset. He's been he's been instrumental. He has not had the best talent. Um, most of his guys are developed from Division II. And Indiana decided that let's just stop the rumors. Let's get him paid. I think he's the third highest paid head coach in college right now, and I think it's every bit of it's earned. 8 years. They went ahead. They gave him the 8-year extension. You're absolutely correct. I I thought NFL teams were going to come knocking this year. I, I I really believe that they're going to take this touchdown off the board. I feel it. No, they're saying he was in. So congratulations to EJ Williams. 13-yard touchdown makes it in, confirmed by replay. I don't know who's running that booth, but who's running that camera, but they need some of these because I don't think he was quite in when that arm that hit the ground. Kick is up, and it is good. Radich makes the extra point. Indiana leads 7-3. We will be back here in just a second for the last 240 of the first quarter. Mendoza looked good going down the field. Michigan's been very competitive. I can't wait to see the next drive. Big Saturday on Peacock. That's something else that's BS. Putting games on Peacock, a paid service. That's that's BS. But yeah, I hadn't even mentioned that Ringo because didn't really know how that was going to play out. I was kind of excited to see it because I feared it after last year. Think Rule will stay in Nebraska. Um, yeah, because I think he's learned that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. I believe he was in Nebraska prior to going to Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, and then he comes back. Carolina had to pay him uh, the rest of his contract, so he's got money. It's all about what he wants to do now. Uh, but why not? I mean, if you're happy there, that's one thing. If you got aspirations, there are going to be some big time jobs that open up. That Penn State job is a top tier job, I believe. Penn State, just about any SEC school at this point is top tier because it's ultra competitive top to bottom. I, you know, I tell you who looks like a good head coaching candidate is the announcers for CBS. His kid is offensive coordinator calling plays out there for the Bruins. Man, led them to that upset over Penn State. That was crazy. But Penn State has to have somebody in mind since we're talking about the first team to let somebody go. Um, they have to have somebody in mind. They had somebody that they're working on. They there's going to be attrition, right? I've already saw where Georgia is snagging up some of their players. So people are already bailing. out of these universities right now. So, uh, Penn State is in a lame duck year. Hopefully, I still hope they hold it together and get to go to a bowl game at least. Yeah. Oh, what a throw by Saying uh, for the touchdown pass against Wisconsin. Ohio State leads 7-3. Heard Rule's wife started a business in Lincoln and it's doing well. Bro, I believe it. Uh, you know, eh, Sometimes these college coaches fall in love with where they're at. And a lot of times they may not want to leave. Signetti took the IU job because nobody wanted it. I can tell you that Tom Allen in here coaching was the best that we'd had in a while. And that being said, and when they just had to, they just wanted something better. Scott Dolson wanted something better. And here you go. Kurt Signetti is the right guy. I'm excited. See, listen, I'm a big, huge basketball fan. I love to call basketball games. It's fun and I enjoy it more than this. But that being said, okay, 1st and 10, there's the handoff, and he is going to squeeze through the hole there that closed quickly and made it out for a 5-yard gain, number 7 for Michigan State. But I'm really curious about, since I love college athletics, is how are they going to divvy up NIL money, right? Now that Signetti has proven that he can use it in a great fashion, is that going to take away from what they give? What if DeVries has a bad year this year? 2nd down and 5, under center, play action, roll out. Childs is back to throw, checks it down like he should right there, and that is going to be very close to a 1st down. That is the type of play that I think that Michigan State needs to run with Childs at quarterback. A little play action, get your quarterback out in space where he doesn't have to worry about being murdered in a pocket, and let him make a decision. I like the play. But anyway, that being said, just imagine and this is a negative thought because this Indiana team that they put together looks like it's going to be pretty competitive for basketball. 1st and 10, 3rd and 1. I'm sorry, they marked him short. 3rd down and 1. There's the quarterback draw. He's going to squeak. Oh, what a move. Gets to the outside. Childs is going to get the 1st down and more. Stutter step by the quarterback. Gets him out in space, and he runs for the 1st down. Called his own number here. Almost like it was going to be a run to the right, and then he just dodged one guy and got through. Back to my conversation, though, is that Indiana University has put all its money into basketball, and basketball and football have both failed, kind of. And now they're in this position. Now they got to divide it a little bit, football and basketball. Play action, looking down the field, fires it deep, gets it completed inside the 50, down to the 43, and out of bounds. Nice completion by Childs, gets it over the outstretched hands of the Indiana defender, drops it in there for about a 13-yard gain. I just like looking at the parity, right? Well, Signetti has staked a claim for NIL. Now DeVries has to answer this year with a good season. The clock has expired, and that will take us to the end of the 1st quarter. So back to what I'm saying, though, how does the university? So the university just has to divvy up more money, right? You have to have more money in your NIL program. So now you're pushing to your boosters, and you're looking for more money to pay your players, which I hate NIL anyway. Another story for another time. But now that your football team is competitive and all the resources went into the basketball department because you've been a basketball school for the last 45 to 50 years for the most part. Now you got to share. So Darren DeVries is going to have to put up a pretty good season this year. and they've scheduled him out tough. Now, what I don't like about the basketball team is Tucker DeVries is a really nice player. He is going to do well in the Big Ten, hopefully, as long as he's not hurt. The freshman Trent Sisley is going to do well. He is a top end 4-star recruit. Looks like he's adapting to college basketball well. After that, Lamar Wilkerson is going to be, I think he's going to be a little up and down. Most of the rest of the recruits are big time players from smaller conferences. There's not a lot of top tier players that transferred in. Now we're going to see about DeVries' coaching style. We're going to see about what he teaches. He picked the guys that he wanted. He went out and he didn't go after big names. He went after names of guys that fit a mold, fit a description, and he picked the ones that suited him. So we're going to see how these players work out. And if they don't have a great year, is Signetti going to get a lion's share of the NIL money, or is it going to change at all? Uh, Very excited for basketball starting. Indiana dominated Marion University last night, put up 107 points in that game, looked like a champ, but it's an exhibition game. But as you know, I'll be in here for a lot of those as well, or as many as I can be. So, with that being said, you know, the college sports lives on around here for sure. My problem is the time more so than anything. I was sitting at home most of the time. I would rather be here chit chatting up than doing just about anything. Gee, so far today's game has been pretty even. I knew Michigan State was going to come out and be competitive today. So far, they have answered the call. Uh, Down four. Started the second quarter here. Uh, Kyle's is 8 for 10, 65 yards. Done a lot of really good things. Tolliver, the running back, he's got 15, and so they're moving right along as far as offense goes here. Second quarter begins. So they are already in Indiana territory. Michigan State has been able to move the ball fairly well. It is first and 10. Ball is at the 44. Childs is under center. I love that. Play action. Here comes the pressure. That's another screen pass that tricks Indiana. Is at the 30, down to the 26-yard line. Tolliver with the big gainer right there. That play has worked 2 times now. It goes into play action and sets up the screenplay. I don't know uh how that is not with the defensive lineman that far downfield, how that's not a legal player downfield. The college rule must be different. First and 10, ball is at the 26. Childs is in the gun, back to pass, calls an audible at the line. His running back moves to his left. 3 on the play clock. There's the snap. He's going to hand. Nope. Yes, it's going to be sniffed out. Kamara looks like he was there first. That is Wheeler and Kamara that tag team for the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Kamara will be an NFL player, I believe. I believe there's about 6 guys on this team that will be drafted or be on an NFL roster next year. I tell you, my phone's blowing up today. Should have turned the notifications off. Second and 13, fires it. What a nice throw. Steps out of bounds after about a 10-yard gain. and that is Marsh. Indiana's secondary is not playing tight. Uh, they're playing more of a prevent style defense today, keeping their safeties really deep. I'm not sure what they're afraid of in this first half, or if they're just trying to keep everything in front of them. But nice play, 10-yard gain on second down, brings up a 3rd and 3. Childs is under center. This is the same line that they did last time for the wide receiver screen to the right when the blitz was coming. Hands off. He's going to cut through the hole. He's going to be stopped short of the first down. It's going to bring up 4th down. And Coach Smith at Michigan State's going to have a decision. Looks like he's leaving his offense out there. I do not see any flinch in the play calling here, as he's determined that I think they're going to go for it. You can't win these games if you don't go out here and take some chances, especially on the road. Michigan State definitely understands that. They're taking one right here, right now. 4th down and 1. And somebody's called timeout on the field. Coach is talking with the side judge, having a conversation. He's asking a question. They go out on the field. Looks like Michigan State used that timeout there. Looks like Wisconsin's going to have to punt down 10-0. They look to be about a score away from being almost out of this game in the first quarter. Luke Fickle looks like he's on his way out at Wisconsin. Sad to say, starting with an 0-3 conference record this year. He went 7-6 year one, 5-7 year two, and 2-4 so far this year. Where do these running backs that Ohio State keeps coming up with? Just big, muscular guys, look like they're NFL ready. When you got big backs that have that kind of speed to hand off to, makes it a lot easier for your freshman quarterback. And Ohio State is methodically moving the ball down the field. Looks like they're getting ready to punch one in here for another touchdown. 17-0. And that pretty much just wipes Wisconsin out of this game, I think. All right, 4th and 2. They did move the ball back a little bit. I thought he was closer to that line than that, but it is 4th and 2. Childs is still on the field. They're going for it on 4th down. They were 0 of 4 last week, 1 of 1 today. They're going to keep running their luck. 1 out of their last 5, to be honest, they've completed. Here we go. There goes the quarterback. He's going to run for it, and he's going to get stopped. I don't think he got it. They're marking him right at the line. If he reached that ball out and made it, I will be surprised. Let's look. College has the worst. Not yet. Not yet. Oh, he stuck the ball out at the last second. I believe he reached out, got the ball at the line to gain, right there, super close. They gave him the first down. Very athletic play by Childs. Aiden Childs, junior quarterback for Michigan State, doing a very nice job of leading his team today against this defense that's been very on point. First and 10, handoff, loss of three, make it two. He forced himself forward a little bit there. So Indiana staying in that too deep. I wish they wouldn't, but second and 12, back to pass. Childs rolls out, avoids the rush. There is a hold in the backfield. He's going to get about 10 yards, but I believe this one's coming back. I got a hold on the offensive line. When he darted out of the pocket, it put his lineman, his left tackle, in a bad position to where he had no choice when the defender turned and went the other way. Good block, good block, good block. But as soon as Childs runs out of the pocket, it's not a good block anymore. There, he spun him around as Childs moved out of the pocket. It'll get you every time. You can get away with that if you stay in between the defender and your quarterback. But the second your quarterback runs, it's a hold. Back to pass, looking, fires it to the right side, complete. Very soft coverage right there on second and 22. It looks like it's going to bring up a third and about 10. This defense is a little soft today. They're not getting the pressure. The Michigan State O line has played pretty well so far, both run blocking and pass blocking. The strength of this Indiana defense has been its D line, and they've been matched pretty evenly today. Childs has played acceptable football, good control over his team. Third down and 9. Let's see if he can make another big play. Indiana's crowded the line. They're going to rush 5. Gets it out. Caught. Touchdown, Michigan State. That is Marsh with the grab, and he is going to run it in. And Coach Signetti has a little bit of look of concern on his face. I got to say, playing soft has not really been a good look for this Indiana team. Safeties, just that's just they're too deep. You cannot be that deep. I don't understand why they're playing so soft. That's backyard pitch and catch stuff. Extra point is good, 10-7. Indiana trails for the second time today. And heck yeah, they got something to be happy about. And that's the other part of that. And I'm not being critical because I don't know, but when you're that deep, when you're that deep into the red zone, why are you still putting your safeties 15, 5 yards back in the back of the end zone? At least bring them up to the goal line or the 5 yard line. Tighten that coverage up a little bit because there was nobody there with him off the ball. Hey, Pizzle is in the chat. Mr. Putnam, how are you doing, sir? Good to see you. Hopefully, you're ready for a good Sunday of foosball. I'm being very critical of college defense right at the moment, but very excited that my team has achieved the highest ranking in university history. I picked today's game because I felt like it's a game that they had to show up to win. They couldn't just bulldoze an opponent, especially a Big Ten opponent. And And so far, they're being challenged, but I don't understand why they're playing soft defense. It bothers me. You go out and beat Oregon because you get up on the line of scrimmage and play defense. You check receivers at the line and get them off their routes a little bit. Right now, they're just allowing these guys to run their routes. We're not getting good penetration on the D line, and in turn, we're paying for it. But it's good to see you, brother. And here's the thing: even if we come back and respond with another touchdown here, take the lead, go into halftime with the lead, and then come out in the second half and play well and win, it still doesn't change the fact that I don't think you should get away from challenging teams early. I don't think you should let them get comfortable in their offense. I think you should continually press the issue until somebody burns you. Make them go over the top and beat you. You got you got a future NFL safety on the team. D'Angelo Pons, I believe, will be in the NFL for sure. Challenge that quarterback. Make him go over top of you. Dr. Phyllis Grant, season ticket holder for 76 years, turning 100 on October 31st on the field in a wheelchair. That's what I'm talking about right there. Ohio State is punishing Wisconsin right now. All 17 points to the Buckeyes. All right, Fernando Mendoza is in the gun. Oh, Pizzle, got a question for you here in a minute. Mendoza's in the gun. There's the snap, handoff. There goes Hemby, and Roman Hemby's going to be stood up at the line of scrimmage. Pizzle, if you were not just checking in, saying, hey, these Mendoza brothers from Miami that are both on this team right now, what do you know about them from high school? Fernando and Alberto. I think they're South Florida kids. Second down 10, no gain. Michigan State's challenging. Runs out, looks down, got plenty of time, fires it over the middle, caught by EJ Williams, and he is out for a first down. Mendoza, plenty of time in the pocket, makes the good decision, hits the crossing route in the center. Just waits. So if you don't get pressure on the quarterback and you let these routes develop, these quarterbacks are going to tear you apart. You've got to get some pressure in there. Not saying anything to you, Michigan State. Handoff. There goes Timby. He's going for the edge, and he is going to be tackled. Both teams have decided that neither is going to be able to run the ball today. Another stellar play by the Michigan State defense. I think both teams are playing the exact same way on defense. Soft in coverage, just not getting penetration and pressure on the quarterback. Back to pass, steps up, fires it out. This one is complete. There goes the tight end for the first down and more. He's on through the races at the 45-40, down to the 35, flipped over and touches down at the 23-yard line. What a throw to Riley Nowakowski, the tight end. He gets his little chip block, folds out to be the check down, dodges one defender, and he's off to the races. Ends up going down, flipped over at the 24-yard line, first and 10, Indiana. Mendoza's back to pass, looking down the field, fires it, caught on the crossing route. There goes Surratt at the 10, cuts back at the 5, and he's going to walk into the end zone. Elijah Surratt, future NFL wide receiver, runs it in for a tutty, and Indiana retakes the lead 13-10. So far, super exciting game. Both defenses are playing about as well as they can, and these quarterbacks are making great decisions. Kick is up, and it is good. Radicic tacks on the extra point. Indiana leads 14-10. Elijah Surratt is fantastic. He is going to be a great number two or a slot receiver somewhere in the NFL. Crafty, thank you. I'm glad you appreciate that. It is definitely awesome. So, what's your thoughts going into this weekend of sports? What did you think about Shohei last night? What did you think about Miami losing on Friday? What are you thinking about? What are you looking forward to tomorrow in the NFL? I want to know what your thoughts are. It is a background, though. Colts and Chargers, me too. I think that's a pretty evenly matched game, but I do give the nod. I give a little bit to the Colts here. I think Jonathan Taylor trumps Omari and Hampton. I think with the lack of left tackle play for LA, I think and Daniel Jones's ability to run the ball a little bit. Although LA gets Khalil Mack back tomorrow, that's definitely a little bit more pressure. Um, but I think it's going to be a very exciting game. Crafty, I was telling everybody earlier I was running my regular Thursday night stream on my other channel, and I'm taking all this heat, because I got all these Steeler fans playing my Bengals, and them taking all this crap, and then they come back and won that game. Well, it didn't. I mean, really, I guess coming back from 10-0 deficit starting, uh, that was pretty cool. I didn't. I don't. Like I said, I don't care if they win or lose the rest of the year, but uh, it's nice to beat Pittsburgh. You know, Crafty, it's really hard to tell. I don't think they've peaked. Um, I don't think they peaked. I just think that they've started out more prepared than other teams. I think their development is slower. My Thursday night stream on my treasure hunting channel, sir. All right, starting this drive here at the 25. Childs rolls out, same play as earlier. He gets it to his big tight end, 3 yard gain on first down. Uh, Very effective to get Childs out of the pocket on a play action. Scatterboo and Scatterboo and Jackson Dart are probably it's gonna be a different type of game for them in Denver. I don't think they're gonna dominate like they did at home. We're gonna see what those kids are made of in that game for sure. Second down and 7, Childs is in the gun. Snap comes, play action, checks it down to his wide out, who dodges a tackle and gets the first down. Made the first guy miss. McCray gets the first down. Michigan State extends. Tackling has not been good for Indiana today. These Michigan State kids are pretty big and strong. You have got to wrap them up. I love the Giants story with the rookies. I just think it's going to be very tough to do what they did against Philly in Denver. Hand play action. Child steps up, has time, fires over the middle, wide open receiver, avoids the pressure, and is tackled at the 41. Yeah, you're going to learn. Brian Daboll is very capable as a head coach. You're going to learn how far along Jackson Dart really is. I was more impressed that they were able to go into New Orleans and win that game as opposed to as opposed to beating Philadelphia at home. Honestly, 1st and 10, balls at the 41. No pressure on the quarterback this far. Handoff, and he is blasted at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Running game's going nowhere. If they don't get pressure on the quarterback and he has time to throw it, he's been doing very well. It's been the story of this whole first half. Good protection. They go fast. Back to pass. There comes the blitz. He gets it to his check down. He's going to get forward. Indiana's starting to become a little more aggressive on defense, and it's going to be 3rd and 7. If they fall back into this prevent too deep zone type of defense here, I'm going to be mad. You want to keep pressure on the quarterback, make him make a decision very quickly. Make him make a choice fast. Don't give him time to step up. He calls an audible. He sees something he didn't like. All right, Indiana's crowding the line. 3rd and 7. 5 on the play clock. He hands it off, and that is a bad call. He audibled out of the pass to a run. Indiana sniffed it out. It's going to be 4th down. We're going to get to see Indiana run the 2-minute drill here today. Childs makes his first mistake, basically audibling out of his pass play because he saw a blitz coming. But that's what they should have been doing the whole game, is make the quarterback uncomfortable. 3 minutes to go here. Michigan State's going to have to punt. Oh, wait, they're going for it on 4th and 9. My bad. Big time risk. They're not going to snap that. Oh, they snap it and the quarterback punts it. And the quarterback punted it. What a play. It's going to be a touchback, but Indiana will have 3 minutes on the clock to go down and score a touchdown here before the half. If they score a touchdown here and go into halftime 21-10, all is forgiven. But I bet that coach will not be satisfied. Wait till you hear him. Well, I'm not going to get to hear him. I guess I could turn the volume up a hair. I don't think nobody's going to snitch me out. Happy No Kings Day. What do you say, JP? Jonathan Pilgrim, our resident LA Rams fan. How you feeling about your Rams this year, sir? Is this going to be Stafford's last season? The NFL season looks more like a up for grabs than any I can recall in recent memory. A lot of top teams from the last few years have taken a step back, while a lot of new young teams are on the upswing. Yeah, the thing of it is, Crafty, is that um, the only thing I can say about that is that a lot of teams are getting better, but I think as a whole, the NFL is down. I feel like the NFL is really worse. And I think it's this lack of practice, and I think it's lack of really developing your team in the preseason. And I don't know if Stafford has said anything about that. I just kind of wonder if he isn't really I just wonder if he's really want to continue taking the hits. He seems like one that looks for the next part of his life. Okay, here we go. Sorry, I missed the play if I did. Ball's at the 20, 1st and 10. Mendoza's in the gun. 2:46 to go before the half. Play action. Looking down the field. He's going to let it go to the right side. Caught. And that is EJ Williams. He's going to, or Omar Cooper Jr., excuse me. And he's going to go out of bounds. Clock will continue to run. I don't know why that is. It should shut off for the moving. Mendoza looks good out there. Very comfortable letting it fly. Perfect strike to Cooper. I guess not until the 2-minute warning. Snap, back to pass, has time, checks it down, and Cooper is going to be knocked at the line of scrimmage. He spins out of it and gets about 2 yards, and we go to the 2-minute warning. We have a good backup, another Georgia quarterback. Yeah. Has he? I know he had some problems. As he has he emerged, Jonathan? And also, I agree. Overall, more teams have slipped than improved. Yeah, I listen. I think the NFL coaching's at a premium. Crafty. Oh, I don't think he gets overlooked. Stafford's always been a top 10 regardless. A lot of years right on that top 5. Uh, but he's played on teams in Detroit where he had to be that, and he had to throw it up 45 times a game. But now he's on a Rams team where he doesn't have to quite be that guy. Doesn't have to be a game manager, but he doesn't have to go out there and win games either. I think his situation makes him less of that guy. Yeah, the AFC right now is currently down. I agree. I This is the worst AFC North I've ever seen, to be honest with you. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is a 40-year-old Pittsburgh quarterback where their defense can't stop anybody, is the best team in my division. Come on. Uh, the Colts are the same team they were last year with just a guy not turning the ball over as much. Uh, Houston's down. What the Where is Joe Mixon for Houston? If you research into that, he's now it's not about his injury anymore. It's almost like he went AWOL. So I don't know what's going on there. Uh, Jacksonville is a Jacksonville will not stay on top. Mark my words. Um, when their defense stops getting 3 turnovers a game, they're going to look pedestrian again. As long as their defense keeps it up, they can continue to win. But there's just something that's not quite right there. And let's see what else. Tennessee's season shot, so you don't have to worry about that. The East, New England looks like Vrabel was the coaching get out there because Tennessee should have never let him go. ran Carthon when they decided that because it was all over that wanting Belichick like player control, and that's why they got rid of him in Tennessee, I believe, something to that effect. Because Callahan had no choice on players. Um, all those decisions were made from the GM spot. 4 tush pushes in one drive. Eagles don't look great right now. Um, there's something to be said about losing your coordinators to head coaching jobs, right? Sirianni sent a bunch of them out. It is 2nd down and 8. Indiana's at the 46. Play action. Gets it out to Cooper on the edge. He runs for the first down and out of bounds. Cooper Jr. with 2 catches in a row. No, you're right. But he's not gonna get that high pay benefit, and really they're not gonna win more than 10 games. Maybe 9. Back to pass. Looking down the field. Here comes pressure. Mendoza rolls out, fires it downfield, and it is incomplete. Looking for his tight end, Nowakowski. 2nd down and 10, 146 to go. Pretty nice throw. Nice play by the safety there to jump in front of that and knock it away. Hate that the Rams had to trade Cup. Yeah. He's really I mean, in division, that sucks too, right? Because Seattle's gonna be there. Mike McDonald's doing a really nice job there. That NFC West is treacherous. Somebody's gonna blow the whistle dead here for a timeout. Indiana uses their first. NFC West may be the best division in football right now. I feel like this is Kyler Murray's last year in Arizona, and it's not because of his playmaking ability. I think it's predominantly because of the struggles he has being shorter as a quarterback. If you can't see over the D line, how can you make all the throws? If you if you put if you were to have inserted look, if you were to inserted a guy like Aaron Rodgers out there in Arizona, that's a way different look. Some guy that can hit those receivers. And I hate to say anything bad about Kyler, but yeah, the West is might be my the NFC West or the NFC North. Honestly, I feel like the NFC East and South is mediocre, except for maybe Tampa. Um, I think Atlanta's going to trend upward all year. I, I think Atlanta has a real big chance in San Fran this week. That's for sure. But yeah, it does feel like a bad. It feels like a down year in the NFL. But I think there's gonna be a couple teams that are gonna be really hard to beat once they get it together. And I think the AFC still runs through Kansas City. I don't think it runs through Indy. I don't think it runs through Buffalo. It's either gonna be Kansas City or New England. Back to Pat. Oh, I'm looking at the other wrong game. What a throw! I'm still worried about the Panthers, the consistency on there. Chuba Hubbard comes back this week. Having 2 backs in that backfield might be a big improvement, but they've got to consistently be able to run it. Rico Dowdle's killing it. Giving him a little bit. If Chuba and him can 1-2 punch it like a lot of these teams are doing and control a game, Bryce Young's development don't mean shit. It means he can develop in his own good time. All right, 14-10, 146 to go. There's a fumble, and that's a busted play, but Mendoza runs it for 9. Clock's going to continue to run. They are in field goal range. Last week, their long kicker hit a 58-yard field goal in Oregon to end the half. They were within that line right now. So it is going to be 3rd down and 2. That was a busted play as the snap was low and Mendoza couldn't handle it. There's the snap, back to pass, fires it over the middle, and it's behind Surratt, 4th and 2. And I believe, are they going to kick or are they going to go for it here? Mendoza looks to be staying on the field. He's becoming Indiana Jones. Indiana uses the second timeout. They're going to talk about it here. I I always knew that he would be better outside of New York. And you can go in here to, if Adam was in here, he can tell you what he was like in college. New York, especially the Giants, a lot of times will suck the life out of good players. That's why I fear for Jackson Dart and Scatterby right now because it's you're rekindling the old wound between Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. They get the right players in there, but they make them feel like they're no value. Bro, you know what? Mike McDaniel, God, I hope you guys don't mind my takes on things because sometimes my takes are a little out there, but I'll get to it after this 4th down play about Mike McDaniel. Mendoza's in the gun, 4th and 2. Michigan State lines up. Here they come. They send pressure. He picks it up, fires it, and it is caught by Cooper Jr. for a 1st down. Clock's going to continue to run here as soon as they move the chains. Mike McDaniel has no culture. Vic Fangio tried to get everybody lined out, and the players revolted. So therefore, he was gone. There goes Kalon Black up the middle. He scampers in for a touchdown, waving to the fans. 59 seconds to go in the half, and Indiana goes up 20-10. What? What a nice play. 29-yard run for Kalon Black. Indiana is going to extend its lead here by at least double digits, maybe 21. Mike McDaniel does not know how you can't run a team without guidelines. And I feel like there's no culture set in Miami. And when you have people like Tyreek uh, on your roster, Jalen Ramsey, and others, you've got to have some semblance of control. Talent only goes so far in the NFL. Everybody buying into a game plan is the rest of it, and buying into a culture. That's where Mike McDaniel's failed. Yeah. So, interesting, Jonathan. Like I said, Jackson Dart, my quarterback from Ole Miss, completely turned the Giants around once he stepped on the field after they benched Mr. Unlimited. Uh, you know, that's accurate, right? So here's the thing: when rookie quarterbacks first start their career, people don't know their tendencies, so it's very hard to defend them. And then you got another rookie that's as electric as Scatabo, and right now it looks like the Giants are on an uptick. You give NFL defensive quarterbacks, defensive coordinators a little bit of time to figure out how to defend Jackson Dart, and somebody's going to put a game plan together, Sean Payton, that's going to be very problematic for him. Um, but the excitement is great. But the same thing happened with Daniel Jones. We're redoing history here. Daniel Jones came in and looked like, because his ability to run the ball and good decision making, looked like a chance to be an all-time great. For crying out loud, they Eli permanently went to the bench. A two-time Super Bowl champion went to the bench over Daniel Jones. Um, so give it a little time. You can sing praises because Jackson Dart went out there and took control of that team and won. But that tells me that Russ just is kind of cruising to the twilight of his career. I don't think he cares anymore. Put Jameis. If Jameis is another kind of guy that'll go out there and get you 4,000 yards, but he might throw 40 interceptions. Uh, but yeah, I can't wait to see that if that develops. If the Giants can work through their problems and let Jackson Dart survive there. All right, Michigan State's got the ball to 25. Childs is back to throw. Pressure comes. He goes to his check down, and he's only going to get about 4 yards. Clock will tick. I think we're going to let it run to halftime here. If I was Indiana, I would let him play one more play here and call a timeout. Back to pass, looking down the field, fires it. First down, out of bounds. Save that timeout. Yeah, I have no problem shooting praise to young quarterbacks, but I have a lot of problem with the Giants and the Jets. It just seems like, and Chicago. While we're on it, we might as well bring them in too. When and now Tennessee, Cam Ward looked like he had everything, but so far he hasn't looked the part. But I don't know that it's his fault. First down. Some of the guys you work with are from Baton Rouge. Ole Miss is undefeated. Hey, bro, congratulations! You got a great coaching staff there. Um, your offensive coordinator, spot on for college. Check down. He's going to run it, and he's going to be tackled. 9 yards, 19 seconds to go. Michigan State will have to burn a timeout. I promise being insufferable is only problematic, though, because, you know, it's only time to be insufferable when you win something big. In the regular season, you gotta have a little bit of give there because you never know. Your season can turn on a whim. The kicker for Michigan State is Connington, and I think they're trying to set him up for a field goal attempt here. Kudos to Michigan State's offense today. They've done a very nice job through the air today. The run game, not so much, but Childs has done an admirable job on the road. Got to show praise to your opponents, man. Got to pump them up just a little bit. There's a time and a place for trash talk. Second down and one. Childs is back to pass, looking down the field, has plenty of time, hits his check down, nothing open, and he will get the first down. But that will give them a chance to reset the chains. They get it ready to rock. 12 seconds to go in the half. I think Sean McDermott is already under the watchful eye. Um, yeah, those are two really interesting takes because Buffalo is winning right now. They're still tied for their division lead, down a half game basically because they lost the head to head to New England. But I just don't see them as being that team this year, uh, honestly. And I think you're going to see teams start letting go of coaches that don't achieve anything beyond uh, an NFC or a championship for your conference appearance or a divisional round playoff loss. Those things aren't worth anything anymore. Sean McDermott can get the Buffalo Bills to the playoffs every year, but if they can't win an AFC championship game or even, sometimes even a home game, Bengals, uh, then there's something wrong. Childs gets sacked. It's a huge loss for the clock to run out. 3 seconds, 2, 1. We go to halftime. Indiana leads Michigan State 21-10, and I've been disappointed with their defense the whole half. So I will take that as a win as we go forward. But yeah, you're absolutely correct. Uh, I'm going to go through some NFL stuff right here while we sit here, since that is the topic of conversation based on who's in the chat today. Crafty. Here's another thing I'm going to get you. The first thing that pops up when I go into my feed, the first thing that blows me away um, is the Patriots have won every game on the road except for one at home. They're 1-2 at home, 3-0 on the road. Playing on the road is the hardest thing to do in the NFL. Has Billy B tarnished his reputation now that he has not been with North Carolina? So I don't think he can run it like he wants to run it. And I think you'll see him back in the NFL. This will be a very short term relationship. Um, he didn't have the personnel this year, and it didn't look like he was capable of getting what he needed to turn that into who was it there before? Mac Brown, longtime college coach, knew how to work the system. It's definitely a 2 to 3 year gig to get that program turned into what he would want it to be. I look for him to be back in the NFL next year. I look for them for the buyout and him be gone. Honestly, I was interested with him trying. But that being said, Patriots, that's kind of cool to me. The Steeler, the AFC, NFC, AFC North. Here's the thing about the AFC North. If Joe Burrow can get healthy, they can win that division with 8 wins because I don't think Pittsburgh's that good. Um, the Ravens have quit. The Browns haven't quit. I still think the Browns have some issues. They're very young. Uh, Colts and Jags. I look for both of them to slip a little bit. Colts may be the best team in the AFC right now, though. And then you go to the West: Chargers, Broncos, and Chiefs. Um, those will probably be two wild cards, and those will probably be two. That'll probably be the division that has two wild cards. I have more faith in the Broncos and the Chiefs than I do the Bills or the Jags. I still think the West gets three. Will his young girlfriend allow him to go back to the NFL? Bro, um, I think that's just I think this is all just media based. Yeah, she'll go to the NFL, and then when he kicks the bucket, she'll have her a football player, somebody with a bunch of money there too. She's hot, by the way, smoking. Seahawks are also undefeated on the road while dropping a couple at home. See, Mike McDonald is the reason why Baltimore is 1-5. I'm just going to put that out there. His defense was airtight in structure and game planning, whereas the same defense now, uh, even with the same players for the most part, cannot seem to get it together. The Ravens have given up almost 200 points this year. The Bengals barely are ahead of them, you know. Hot take: Shadur will never see a single snap in the NFL. Disagree. He's going to get somewhere along the way. Somebody's going to be pressured to give him a chance, or he's going to come in trash time and take a few snaps and knees. But he'll see the field. I don't think he processes the game well enough on the brain side of it. I think that's why. Yeah, you know what? That Browns team, that defense has a lot of pride on it, Crafty. Jim Schwartz is amazing as a coordinator. with a leader on the field like Miles Garrett and a secondary like they got, they have a chance in every game that they play. They just got to learn how to generate some points, and control a clock. They can be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers that win the Super Bowl with the worst quarterback in history, or the Baltimore Ravens that did the same thing. Um, I can't remember the quarterbacks' names at this point in time, but Baltimore had one at one point in time, and then they had one down there in Tampa. Greetings, Poop It Master. It's early for you, sir. Let's see where we're at here. Still at the half. Bruh. Uh, Beyond that, I mean, oh, it's the weekend. So you get up early on the weekend. I love it. Ravens had Dilfer, and I thought Tampa Bay had Dilfer too. Check that stat for me, Crafty, because I'm pretty Trent Dilfer might have won. Hang on a minute. Now you got me confused because I think you might be right. I think Trent Dilfer was on both though. 13 season career, primary quarterback, Tampa Bay, Baltimore, Seattle, Cleveland, and San Francisco. He's most famous for winning the Super Bowl 35 with the Ravens in 2000. Okay, yeah, he was. So you're right. Was it Brad Johnson that won the Tampa Bay Buccaneers one? You're right. I shouldn't even question you. You the man, Crafty. I do at a certain point, Mr. Crafty, I do need to get some mailing information from you, uh, and some preferences. Just so you know, let me run that across the screen really fast. If you would, uh, send me an email of with a mailing address, and then you're listing and top 5 players and teams in the NFL. Uh, Team first, and then after that, like players that you like for those teams. Um, Send that to me because I do have something in plan for you, my friend. So there goes the email in the bloodlines at gmail.com. Send one to me. You're milking your days off. I love it, puppet. So you sleep while you work? I can't get into that. I just got back from vacation. This is my last day of vacation. I got to spend some time away from here with my wife. Had a good time. Who is going to win tonight, USC or Notre Dame? 7 p.m. here on Peacock. So I'm looking out. I see a thunderstorm somewhere. Oh, it's in Notre Dame. Yeah, that was the Ray Lewis era, right, Crafty? And for Baltimore, that's when they had that just dominating defense that gave up like 87 points for the season or something stupid like that. So watch this. Tell me why you can't build a defense like that today and win a Super Bowl with a half paid quarterback. I guess the only way you can do that now is if they win with on the rookie contract. I think the NFL is predominantly getting weaker. I think it's the game is starting to look more like college. People are afraid to hit and fear of being penalized or even fined. I think they've created um, a stigma that of soft play. Can't hit a quarterback high. Can't touch him in his helmet. Can't hit a quarterback low. Can't hit a defenseless receiver when a quarterback throws a stupid ball over the middle and he has to go up to try to catch it. Can't hit that guy. Or if you do, you got to be very careful. Uh, can't have full speed contact on kick returns. No worries, Jonathan. You do your business. Ole Miss is leading Georgia right now. That's kind of interesting. Ohio State cruising 17 nothing at the half. Looks like they're on their way to a victory. Saying the quarterback there, 23 of 26 for 235 and two touchdowns in the first half. Tate's been the big receiver so far, four catches for 85 and two tutties. I got to say, though, right now, when it comes to Indiana and Ohio State, top of the Big Ten, I like the fact that my quarterback is an upperclassman. I like the fact that my quarterback is not a freshman. Um, not that I would, not that I didn't want saying. I'm just saying that I like having that. So as we approach the second half here, I'm guessing that Indiana is going to approach it the same way. They do not feel threatened by the Spartans' defense. They're going to try to run the clock. Game suspended in Indiana. Fudge. Let me check the weather here, bro. Holy smokes. Thunderstorms rolling through my area. Oh wow, it goes all the way down to the all the way into the Mississippi Valley. Let's see the dang radar. Okay, phone. So we are having a weather delay. So you guys are gonna have to come up with something to chit chat about because I can't shut the stream down, or I won't. There is a severe weather in the immediate area necessitates suspension of the event. For your safety, please calmly exit. Smoke. Who didn't make it to the NFL? Well, I was a big Doug Flutie Boston College guy, but he played in the NFL. Uh, Golly. Let's figure out who didn't make it to the NFL. Let's see. It not didn't pan out. Go back. Mm, best of all time. Best. I don't want your opinion. That's a good one though. Tommy Frazier in Nebraska was there from '92 to '96. Uh, he was. They ran that wishbone offense. Coach's name was Tom something or another, and never. Gosh, I'm trying to remember the name of that coach, but they ran that wishbone offense, and he was really good in it. That's definitely one. The stands have emptied in Bloomington. Um, I do not see. Oh, let's see. So the severe stuff is moving to the north, getting ready to bum rush Indianapolis. Tom Osborne, thank you, Ringo, which ran a pretty tight ship there. You know, I always thought at that time frame that Frazier would be an NFL running back. I thought he would make it as a running back, but he did not. Um, my favorite and Charlie Ward, I think, did end up playing some in the NFL, but Charlie Ward, the Heisman winner from Florida State, was one of my all-time favorites. Uh, I don't think he ever really dented the NFL, but great player. Uh, Other than that, it's a very tough question. Who's kicking themselves more? Browns for letting go of Baker or the Jets letting go of Darnold? Um, I think that would have to be the Browns because if the Browns could have just hung on to Baker and got him through that phase where and he may not have ever gotten over it in Cleveland. You know that I'm a superstar phase. Let's just call it that. If uh, Darnold never took that approach, Darnold was let go because of he was being coached poorly, I believe, not because he was a poor player. But I will still say that it's the Browns. They should have realized what they had. Uh, you remember that whole chain of events where Baker was out there playing with a separated shoulder, trying to be there for his team, and everybody was talking that he should have healed himself up, looked really badly, and then they let go. Dwayne the Rock Johnson never made an NFL team. Didn't he have knee issues, Jonathan? It wasn't that part of the reason he didn't go pro. Can we pretend that Sam Bradford didn't make the NFL? I just hated that time period as a Rams fan. Yeah, Sam Bradford was pretty prolific in it. I believe it was at the University of Arkansas, um, if I'm not mistaken. It was a maroon colored helmet, I believe. Maybe it was Oklahoma. I think it was Arkansas. Not positive. Trying to bring that memory back through my head. There is a lot of quarterbacks that don't work out in the NFL, but since we're on my college football stream today between Indiana University and Michigan State Spartans, uh, let's talk about the Indiana quarterback from last year that is the third string quarterback right now on the San Francisco 49ers, maybe fourth string, but it's still there. Curtis Rourke, um, who played his whole senior season at Indiana with a torn Achilles. Tell me that ain't amazing. So he got drafted fourth round, maybe somewhere around there, fifth. Anyway, he could really sling it. Very much a Ben Roethlisberger guy. God, why did I think he was at Arkansas for some reason? That bothers me. But anyway, Curtis Rourke is going to be potentially a Roethlisberger type. Big quarterback, strong arm, very good at breaking down offenses or defenses. Um, Playing out there at San Francisco, learning under Shanahan. Sooner or later, he's going to make somebody's roster and play. Yeah, I had Jonathan. I thought Sam Bradford was in Arkansas. My God, I got Oklahoma second because I had to rethink it a little bit, but I wasn't 100% certain. Right. That's a coaching issue, not a player issue, though, right? We can agree on that, Crafty. The Browns had a management coaching issue that should have sidelined Baker to get him straightened out instead of letting him play and trading him for nothing. He was a first round pick for a reason. I have no idea when this game's coming back on. For real. Reggie Bush deserves his Heisman. Now I got to remember who I was trying to think of. Watch this. I got to look this up really fast. I guess that when I was thinking about Arkansas, it was Ryan Mallett who I was thinking of. Stefanski stood by and let Baker play a full season with a separated shoulder, and then let Watson sit every time he stubbed his toe. Do you think organizationally, Crafty, that that was a Stefanski decision, or if that decision came from above? Well, there you go. Ryan Mallett and Sam Bradford are basically the same guy, right? So I think it is currently raining in Indiana or at Bloomington. Let's see. That is way too fast on that radar. It's 5:25. So it really looked like it was a big line of storms. And then the storms never really hit. They're in light rain right now, and it's going to rain the rest of the day. Ryan Mallett get drafted by Atlanta. Uh, I don't think so. Could be. Feel like it was an AFC team. New England Patriots drafted him in the 2011 draft with the 74th pick. He was the seventh quarterback off the board, despite some projections that he might be a first round pick. 6'6", 240. Um, 6'6", 240. Ryan Mallett had the biggest stock drop that year. Somebody got smart. The Baker Mayfield commercials that always pissed me off was the one. Yeah, that was it. The at-home commercials with the keys to the stadium. Oh my god! And also, just I didn't realize that Minnesota spanked Nebraska on Friday. Somebody mentioned that Nebraska lost after being ranked. Well, it was 14 years ago, John. Hey, they show them still in delay. Fans are still in the stadium. I will be back in a minute. I'm going to go grab another drink because I did not plan to need one. Yeah, I'm not sure how long he sat behind Brady, but yeah, you would think that that was probably why he had trade value because most everybody that did sit behind Brady was able to be traded and found a career elsewhere. Pardon me while I eat a Reese cup. And we are back at the stadium. Julian Sayin is going to be a really good quarterback. He looks so much better now than he did at the start of the season for Ohio State. Head's always on a swivel, very poised, doesn't make a lot of bad decisions. Is anyone looking for a good D&D podcast? I highly recommend Legends of Adventurous. I don't know. Haven't played in a long time, but my son, I think, is kind of into that a little bit. Mendoza has done a phenomenal job. I'm really curious if Minnesota or Wisconsin can hold Ohio State down in here in the second half, and if they can make a game out of this. I don't know if that's alive or not, but they still have not let anybody back into the stadium. So anybody that has any topics to conversation, sports wise, college, Indiana, football, and yeah, I'm not really into the NBA right now. Southwest Florida treasure detecting. What is up, Mr. Dennis? Hit that like button because it is free. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. I looked up tickets for Survivor Series this year and for ringsides. Seat are over 2 grand. That f's me up, dude. That blows me away. I was thinking ringside for something like that would be $500. Doesn't that sound, 500 bucks? Uh, I don't know, maybe a VIP pass and make it 1,000 of some sort. But 2 grand seems a little bit steep. Mississippi is just climbed back ahead of Georgia 21-20 as we go. Georgia does have the ball. Fourth down and 3 on the Mississippi 17, though, as we speak. We are under a weather delay here in Bloomington, Indiana, as a thunderstorm has rolled by. It looks like the threat has passed. They are still holding the delay sign up. WrestleMania is worse. Price is 4K ringside. The only thing I'm spending 4 grand on is a Super Bowl ticket. I'm not gonna lie. That's the only sporting event that I feel it's worth it. There's another handoff, and they just sunk him for another 5-yard loss. Wisconsin's D's playing a little better, at least against the run. On last roll through there quick. Yeah, it's rolling all the way. It's a big line of storms. It hit you before it hit us down here, to be honest, because it's more like this. But yeah, good to see you, Mary. I was bashing on you a little bit the other night. Your hubby took it well though. WWE has overpriced their tickets so bad that it's not geared towards families anymore. That's that's what happens though. That's called progression. They can get what they can get. Game is going to resume in 3 minutes, folks. So thank you for hanging out. I know some of you decided not to. I got you. I say what I want. You say what you want. I say what I want. We were talking. We were having a conversation about community such, and why I wasn't kicking you that hard. Would never do that. We are 2 minutes from game resumption. That was pretty fast. They're letting the people back in the stands, and they're going to kick off for the second half here. It might be a little sloppy here in the second half. Let's pray that nobody gets hurt and we make it through this day nice and even. Just to be aware, Indiana will receive the kickoff here in the second half, and it should be coming around here very soon. Thank goodness. I saw something on Cena, I think it was. And then when he was coming up, they sent him to the wrestling that's around here, the Ohio Valley Wrestling Association, um, kind of like, the junior leagues. And then he only went up because of somebody they needed to fill in. So he got brought up to the big show and never left. I think it was Cena. Anyway, he wrestled in my area for a long time. What up, Jay? Good to see you, my brother. Yeah, you guys like seeing her that much? That's cool. How is Joe doing, Mary? What y'all doing for Halloween? Don't know yet. Mendoza checks it down, and Surratt is going to run for a first down. Get about 11. I think Puppet likes Halloween. All right, we got another first down and 10 here. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, at least for one of the days. There's the handoff, and he is met in the backfield. And that is, oh, Mendoza had the ball. Hemby got tackled. Mendoza held on to it in the RPO. Ole Miss is up 8 on Georgia, by the way. I do have one planned. Man, I'll talk about it here in a second. Get to a commercial break or a touchdown after a touchdown. Second down and 7. Back to pass, looking down the field, fires it, and that is knocked away. But Williams was being mauled. I think they're going to call that clean because it looked like his head. Nope, there's the flag. May not be for that call. Let us see. If it is, yep, they're going to hit him with pass interference. He had him wrapped up a little early. He used his hip to pull around and get. He tugged his shoulder right there. That's where it is. That allowed him to make the play. Got you. All right. There's the handoff out on the first and 10. Hemby rolls forward. Michigan State does a great job of stacking him up. 1 yard gain. Gotcha. Well, they're trying. At least they're trying to get him squared away. Going magnet fishing at midnight and fishing to after with family. We taken my cousin for the first time to the dam. I get a lot of fishing weights. Cool, bro. All right, second down and 9. Mendoza's in the gun. There's the snap. Back to pass. Looking down the field. Has time. Lets it go deep over the middle. He's got a man. And there is Cooper Jr. for the touchdown. Big strike from Mendoza. Big time touchdown pass. Omar Cooper Jr. come across the middle on the slant, and he was wide open. Let's see where the breakdown was in coverage. It's on the outside. Oh, this safety went with the underneath route because the cornerback dropped it. So they were playing zone, and it was just a miscommunication. 27-10. Extra point is coming. Looks like it's up, and it is squared away. Radicic knocks it home. Indiana leads by 18. 13:09 to go in the game. But what a strike to Omar Cooper Jr., who runs it in. Big time play. Mendoza is just literally on fire today. 15 for 18, 241, and 3 tutties. That is a good day. But let's not take away anything from Aiden Childs. For Michigan State, he is 20 for 22 with 1 touchdown. The difference has really kind of just been in situational running. Mendoza and Childs have both had plenty of time to throw the ball today, and it just looks like um, that they're just a little bit ahead on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah, Puppet's birthday, man. Puppet's gonna watch what did he say he's gonna get to watch? My birthday next Sunday, Packers and Aaron Rodgers Sunday Night Football. Hopefully that game is great. Well, go Pack go for sure, and they should win. My birthday I'm just reading what you said. My birthday, next Sunday. Good call, Puppet, because yes, what's wrong with the Sacramento Kings? I got you. Leash is given, but we don't ever really get into those kind of discussions in here, so I just don't acknowledge them. There's oh my god. I'm telling you what, Wisconsin's pretty persistent in their run defense, that's for sure. Fallon Iverson wouldn't have been so effed up. He had a chance to be, I mean, could have been one of the all-time greats, and I really don't, his career was short and but if he would have been on his game the whole time, he was so explosive. God, I loved watching him in college. They finally sacked that saying guy, Agard from Wisconsin. Finally got him tripped up. Yep, you're right. All right, Childs is in the gun. Looking forward to watching him play in this half. Here comes pressure. He's going to get up through the middle. 1 yard gain. All right, it is second down and 9. Childs had to pressure was coming. He had to step up in the pocket and make her go for a run there. Fires it over the middle. Caught, completed. This soft defense that Indiana's played today has been kind of effective. It's been really good at burning the clock, and they've taken advantage of all their opportunities. So I guess I can't argue with it too much. I haven't watched the Wizards in a long time either. Back to hands off there. He's going to come through the line and get about a yard. He died. The Kimbe died. I'm pretty sure. Georgia's back within two. Yeah, I thought he passed. Down. I don't think that. I'm watching the a little bit of this Wisconsin game, and I think he did not get the first down, but it's not a fumble either. Hands off, and he is going to be stopped short on 3rd and 1. In fact, he doesn't make it back to the line of scrimmage. Aiden Fisher with the stop. It'll bring up 4th and 2 for Michigan State. Indiana's defense does a nice job containing the run and not letting him get the first down. Let us see if Michigan State chooses to go for it here. By the way, UAB upset Memphis today, and UC plays Oklahoma State tonight at 8 o'clock. All right, 4th and 2. They're going for it. Back to pass, and he fires it over the middle, and it is nice throw by Childs. Hits Kelly on the out route, in between that zone, in the middle of it. Such a clutch throw. All right, all the way down to the 35-yard line, 34. 1st and 10. Michigan State's on the drive. 9:28 to go here in the third. Back to pass. Screenplay. They sniffed it out. They've kindly made the adjustments on the screen. That's one good thing. Here's a trivia question for you. Has there been a quarterback who has won a national championship and a Super Bowl within the same year? Uh, Puppet says Vic. I'm gonna sit here and think. 2nd and 10, back to pass, and there goes Childs. He takes off. He's going to be stopped after a 2-yard gain. Doesn't mean he played in the game. That's the kicker right there. Marino never won a Super Bowl. And I have my brain. Jameis, I don't know. No, Jameis didn't do it. I can't think of anything. 3rd and 8. Childs is back to pass. Looks downfield, has plenty of time, fires it over the middle, and it's broken up. Jumped in front of the play is D'Angelo Pons, a name that you should get used to hearing because you will probably hear it in the NFL. Let's see what happens. He's in coverage the whole way, reads it man to man. He had his hand on him, but he didn't turn him. So now Michigan State is attempting a 50-yard field goal attempt on 4th and 8 here. Wind is blowing a little bit of right to left. He kicks it to the right, and it stays right. No good. It did not come back any on it. Just kept going right. Ew. I mean, it was close. Uh, Jonathan, I don't know. That's a great question. I was trying to think. Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett. That's my answer. Stetson Bennett. Is that right? He won at Georgia. Was he the backup at the Rams when they won their Super Bowl? Alabama. Alabama. No, Mac Jones. Has to be the starting quarterback. Okay. has to be a starting quarterback. Angie says no quarterback has. Thank you, Angie. Yeah, I would think that if that's something that's ever happened, that I would hear about it. It's a cool question though. I can't Google very well sitting here. Looks like Ohio State's going back in for another tutty here shortly. And what up, Miss Angie? How are you doing, my dear? These teams have done a very nice job of stopping the run today. I look for Indiana to try to run the ball on this drive. 19 on the play clock. Here we go. You're dealing. You don't have to be here if you don't like it. There's a snap, hand off. No, checks it down to the wide receiver on the edge, and that is EJ Williams. Well, I'm glad you're doing trivia today, Angie, because I couldn't figure that out even if I wanted to. I was trying to think in my head anybody that even comes close. Second down and three. Mendoza's in the gun. Looks like a run play design. Hands it off, and he's going to barrel forward, and that will be a first down for Hemby. Oh my gosh. Fernando and Alberto wearing them Dolphins. I was asking about their high school. They're from South Florida. And here we go. It is first and 10. Ball is at the 44. Hand it off here, sir. Play a hands off. There goes the run. He's going to barrel forward for about two. We're going to just see the clock melt away here. That was Kalon Black. Kalon Black now has 45 yards rushing in the game. He's done a nice job today. Shanahan's calling it. Indiana only has 61 yards as a team today, but they are averaging like 270 per game as a team, which is a crazy number. Back to pass, looking down the field, hits his receiver. That is Cooper Jr., and he's going to be short. Forward progress should get him really close to the first down marker. Yeah, a high drive. It would be somebody from a later round that happened to be playing, right? Very difficult. All right, we got 5:25 to go here in the third quarter. Indiana just ran for another first down. Watching this time melt away. Gonna check it down, and that is caught on the edge. EJ Williams does a very nice job on that little out route, that 5 yard out route. Doze is in the gun. Second down and 4. And we have a stoppage? No. Reset on the line. Play action. Checks it down across the middle, and that is completed for a first down. Couldn't see who it was, but it's probably Cooper. Omar Cooper Jr. Ohio State is up 27 to nothing right now. Snap, back to pass, looking, lets it go deep. And our Surratt with the grab and the touchdown. Elijah Surratt hauls it in tight coverage. Fernando Mendoza is on fire, gets him to his 4th touchdown pass of the day, and he is right at 300 yards passing. That might be the last we see him today. We might get to see young Alberto Mendoza after that. Yo, Miss Georgianne. All right. 34 to zip or 34 to 10. Here comes the snap. Kick is up. Kick is straight. Radicic knocks it home. Indiana leads by 25. In a game that started out where they were down 10 to 7, Indiana has rallied for the last 28 points. How you doing, Miss Georgianne? Somebody just came in my house. My dog doesn't seem violent, so it's got to be a family member. I'm not, Georgianne. I mean, I guess I'm glad they won the game, but at this point, I would have the way the season was going, I would just rather went the other direction and get a better pick next year. But if they, I guess, if our division's that bad and they can still make the playoffs, then I guess I was just kind of hoping that we would get like a top 10 pick this year. I thought it was going to be that bad, but you guys need to work on your defense. Trying to figure who's in my house. I mean, the one thing he can do is read defenses and throw balls pretty quick. He doesn't hold it too long, and that's where Browning was having trouble. Browning wasn't reading the field fast enough. So maybe um, he's only got to go the way it looks right now, just a little over one game or 2 games over 500, probably going to be enough to get a playoff berth or shit, even win the North. So I hope. Holler and see who answers. Nah, whoever it is supposed to be here. I think it's my wife. She's not supposed to be here though. What's up, Brian? Silver Assassin. in the house. How you doing, bro? Hanging out for a little college football today, singing praise to my Indiana Hoosiers that have achieved the highest ranking in school's history and their first victory last week against a top five team on the road ever in 48 tries. And we're seeing if they can bounce back today against a team that they should beat handily. And Ole Miss just went up by 9 over Georgia with 4:12 to go in the third. Good game there, back and forth. Pretty excited about college football, getting ready for college basketball. As you guys know, I'm in here a lot for my Hoosiers. None of my Hoosier faithful have really showed up today. That was kind of concerning. There's a check down by Childs to the tight end. He's going to run for a first down. Ball is out at the 35. Did just sell a Bryce Underwood auto card for 250 bucks. Right on. Check down to the wide receiver, 3 yards, and there's going to be a flag. I think it's going to be an illegal block on the offense or holding. Kudos on selling the card. Seems to be a tough racket being in sports cards because you buy. Most are worth nothing, and you have to get certain ones. You know, it's almost like lottery. Well, good for you, man. A little bit of luck goes a long way. I'd rather have a little bit of luck than skill. It's going to be second down and 11. Ball's at the 24. Adrian Childs is in there. He's going to roll out. He's going to escape. He's looking downfield. He's got his head on a swivel. He is going to scoot forward for about a 2-yard gain as the defense collapsed upon him, but he did not take a sack. But hold up, there's another penalty flag on the field. Wisconsin punter just looked like on his own did a fake and took off and got a first down. There's an offensive hold on Michigan State on that call that knocked them back all the way to the 15-yard line. Second 21, they hand the ball off to Frazier, the one that just got the penalty flag called on him. He's going to gain about 3. It's going to be third down and long. Anybody that is interested, top left-hand corner, scan it with your telephone. Use code BLOODFAM for a 10% discount to W Energy Drinks. If you have anything there you like, try them out. Hit me up. I appreciate it. Code BLOODFAM. Third down and 18. Childs is back to pass, looking, fires it over the middle, and it is broken up by number 1 from this Indiana secondary. They have not let them have anything deep. Everything has been underneath today, and that is Childs. Only his 4th incompletion of the whole game. Excellent coverage there by Farrell. Definitely got his hand in there. And there will be no fake punt from Michigan State, but this one will be returnable. Cuts back. Brady steps inside. He's in almost to midfield. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the younger Mendoza brother, but it's not going to be this drive. Now I'm watching a Limu Emu on the field, and Doug is chasing him and about to get planted by security. Yep. Only pay for what you need. Insurance, biggest scam ever. With no accidents and no tickets and a great driving record, your rate's supposed to go down, but mine goes up almost every year, it seems, until I change companies. Then I change companies and I get a good discount for a year or two, and then it goes right back up again. Looks like Wisconsin has went to a quarterback change, bringing up from Cathedral, Indianapolis, Danny O'Neal. A little bit of a trickery play, fires it down the middle, and it's incomplete as we're waiting on this game to come back from commercial. We are still hanging out at Big Saturday. Penn State versus Iowa next. I look for Iowa to win that game as well, but I'm really curious with Drew Alar out for Penn State, the quarterback play that they will achieve. Indiana does play Penn State later in the season, so I will probably watch some of that game, or I'll play video games tonight, something. Also, everybody in the chat, Monday Digs will be rocking this week as we have another full lineup from 6:30 all the way through 9:15. There's a handoff, and there goes Timby around the edge. He's going to run for almost 10. I believe he was down. Benson jumped in and got the ball, but I think he was down by contact. Trying to figure out why they're looking at this. They're trying to see whether or not it was a fumble, but it looks like he's down by contact, his back. Anyway, Indiana still recovered the ball. I don't know why it matters to challenge it. And it call remains the same. Second down and one. Ball is at the 42-yard line. Handoff. There goes Hemby. He's going to run for the first down. He has not gotten a lot of yards today, but man, he has earned the ones he's gotten for sure. We'll have one more play, and then we will end the third quarter, and we will be on the home stretch, getting ready for the fourth quarter here. Uh, it's amazing how good these sports guys that predict scores are. This was like a 26 or a 28-point spread, and we're right in that ballpark with about 15 minutes to go. There's the snap, there's the handoff, and it is going to be a 5-yard gain for might have been Black. Yes, it's Kalon Black that comes in. He is the number 2 in the 1-2 punch, and that will get us to the fourth quarter. And once again, off to commercial. So, Brian, if you're still in here, how do you get was that a is that a college card? How does that work? Do you get is it can you get college players on cards? Isn't he still in college? What's up, Ficus? You know, your quarterback looks like he's making strides, but I don't think he has much of a chance. I feel like your quarterback has been adequate, but I just don't think your defense has much to help him with, or your run game, to be honest. Quarterback and O line have been good. Wide receivers have been pretty good. It looks like they've done a pretty good job of protecting him today. We're the Hoosiers are averaging about 4.5 sacks per game. I don't think we've gotten Childs once today, so there's been some improved play there. Now the run blocking's been atrocious. So, oh, it's an NIL card. I got you. Yeah, I was just curious because I don't normally see college players on cards, and I've been out of the trading cards for a while. So part of their NIL deal allows card companies to put their likeness on a card, whether it be whichever brand. We'll just say Tops for lack of me knowing all of them. And Tops produces a card, and then it gives it a futures value. That's kind of cool. $250 ain't nothing to shake a stick at though on a card. Yeah, I didn't even think about NIL deals allowing them to have their own sports cards. By the way, I'm not a fan of NIL. I saw something about a high school kid wanting an NIL wanting NIL money before he went to college or something. Thought that was kind of crazy. There's a handoff. Oh no, he's throwing it, and it is caught by Omar Cooper Jr., who tricked the whole defense there. We just said a Saquon Barkley auto rookie and a Patrick Mahomes rookie refractor out to PSA to grade. Those are nice. There is a penalty on Indiana there. I'm not sure what it was. I think on Indiana. It could have been Ohio State. Nice. Well, it's good that you're doing something with your kids like that. It goes a long way, man. Second down 11, back to pass, looking over the middle, checks it down, and that is caught. There we go with that tight end again. I won't say his name, Owski. How we go, Kowski, Noah Kowski, and that'll be bring up third and short. It's going to be third down and 4 here. Very manageable down here for Mendoza, who does a great job at surveying the field. Back to pass, looking, checks it down. There goes Hemby. He's at the 30, down to the 20, inside the 15, and he gets tackled at the 12-yard line. One tackle from the house. You lost your job, bro. First and 10, play action, checks it down to Brady, loses a yard. So there's a if you go way back in the beginning of this channel, we did do some card videos for a while. Um, my daughter was doing some of the Pokemon stuff, and I think we did some baseball and basketball, maybe baseball and football. I'm not sure. I can't remember all what we did, but we did some for a while. Handoff, and there is no room there. And that is their fourth string running back. So they've set down all their high end skill players. It looks like except for Mendoza. See you, bro. Thank you for stopping by. Whoa. Back to pass, looking, hits the check down, cuts inside, and that is Surratt on third and 11. We'll get about 8. Looks like it'll be about fourth down and 3. Place I was at 10 years closed out of the blue a couple of months ago. I got a 5 a.m. text on a Monday morning to tell me that is absolute trash. Was there any kind of unemployment from that or what? Indiana's going to leave their offense on the field on fourth and 4. At this point, I don't know why you don't just take a field goal. They got 3 on the outside going together, looking, checks it into the end zone. It's overthrown, but he caught it. EJ Williams caught it. Was he inbounds? I don't see elation, so I'm guessing that it knocked him out of bounds. Oh, he's down. As long as the ball doesn't move. Oh, okay. 10.99. I don't know what matters. The toe was down first. Looks like that's going to be a turnover on downs, but that could be my nice try by EJ Williams to come down with that in the corner of the end zone. Should have just took the 3, made it 38-10. Doesn't much matter at this point. You're just Got any prospects on new work, dude? And what is it kind of work that you do? Yeah, if anybody's interested in streaming and would like to pick up StreamYard on a paid account, uh, use this link and code for $10 off. Welcome to San Andreas. I'm CJ from Grove Street. Nah, just I'm in the affiliate program, Mark. Um, I'm just in the affiliate program. Anybody wants to sign up for it, feel free. Dude, yeah, I was gonna say jobs are probably pretty you could probably find something, but it's just a shame when you have time served somewhere. The cool one, Mark, is the barcode up on top. That one's for W Energy. Use product code BloodFam for a discount. That's the one for us. If you're CJ, then I'm Trevor. I technically don't get paid at my job. Are you still interning, sir? After the turnover on downs, it will be first and 10. I know you're a good student. Ball is at the 8-yard line. Childs is in the gun. Here comes the snap. Back to pass. Looks down the field. Fires to the side. First really errant throw that Childs has had all day that marks his only his fifth incompletion. He's now 25 for 30 for 227. That one looked like he was a little tired when he threw it. Your time's coming, Mark. I know that, bro. All right, it's going to be second and 10 from the same spot at the 8. Michigan State goes with a 5 wide set that I have not seen them use yet today. There's the blitz. He gets it out in time, hits his check down, but the tackling's a little poor. Ends up getting about a I don't know where he stepped out of bounds. Signetti is not happy over his tackling. I can tell you that right now. Yeah, I don't know much about that, Mark, considering I've not achieved anything to that nature as far as interning, grad student stuff. So, but like I said, yours is coming. All right, it is third and 2, and there goes Childs trying to run it. He breaks it up the middle. He's got a running lane. He's at the 40. He is going to bust it to the house. Aiden Childs is going to run it, but he's finally knocked out of bounds at the 20-yard line after about a 40-yard run. Yeah, they decided not to mess around. Penn State was lingering, named him a coaching candidate, and they just went ahead and decided to give him an 8-year extension to lock things in place, which I think is smart. But man, I was having a conversation in here earlier. What happens, Mark, and this is a good one for you. What happens in your opinion when a predominantly basketball school ends up developing a football program How much does that take away from the basketball program's NIL? Play action. Childs is back. Here comes pressure. He fires it, gets it away, throws it away. Yeah, well, I don't think they wanted to take the risk on the contract that they had given him to start with. It was a substantial raise from JMU, but well, it was hella mid. You know what I'm saying? I'm just curious because you take a school that has most of its money. We'll just use Duke's another example, right? How much money goes to the football program? But if they were to develop and be a contender for 2 years in a row, how much money would it warrant for their coaches? Yeah, I mean it's the same story. If you guys had 2 really good years, would it draw away from the school's finances for NIL to pay football players as well as having a top notch basketball team? It was just something I brought up for conversation earlier because it's you know so look at Ohio State. Ohio State's a great example. Ohio State has about $12 million for football. IU had about four. That is the difference in what they had. And now those numbers changed this year a little bit, but I don't know if it took away from college or from basketball. Childs is back to pass. He lets it go. It is completed, but I think it's going to bring up fourth down. We got an injury down for Indiana. I don't like that at all. Yeah, it was just food for thought while we were hanging out because we were in a rain delay, that kind of thing. It's going to make me do some research. That's what it's going to make me do because I got to answer my own questions. Just saw a thing where Kirby Smart, Kurt Signetti, and shit, who was the third one? I guess it was Nick Saban. We're all on the same sideline. I never know they all coached together. Oh, Signetti, Kirby Smart, and Saban were all at Alabama in 2010. Huh. Well, there's where the pedigree comes from. Isn't that crazy, Kay? That's what happens when you win a top five game on the road against a top five team on the road, I guess. It's exciting, but it is crazy because, I've been a fan of this program my whole life. And um, like only 2 other years that I can remember watching was exciting. Georgia just went ahead of Ole Miss with 7:29 to go. They're currently third. They're gonna be if everything goes the way that it's looking, it's gonna be they're gonna be 1-2 when they play if they play in the Big Ten championship. I'm not jinxing shit. The false start didn't call. Childs was back, and they finally got to him. Kamara finally got to Childs today and gets. Oh no, that was Bailey. My bad. I was making a point that there's going to be some NFL guys off this team. There was a couple last year. The quarterback and a defensive tackle both went to San Fran, but I get there's about 6 guys on this team that look like they're going to be NFL picks this year. Um, it's really kind of exciting because I've never got a chance to root for many Hoosiers in the NFL. I mean, Antoine Randall, Trent Green, um, a few other ones. Curtis Rourke is in San Francisco, and so is West from last year. There's a big run. Oh, he barely gets ankle tackled with 8:54 to go. It's only after a 4-yard gain. It's Kalon Black. The running backs in this team are both pretty good and healthy. The one wide receiver is pretty top notch too. Surratt, number 13, will be a good slot somewhere. There's the handoff. He runs through the hole. Kalon Black is going to get a. It's going to be third and short. Except for that one wide receiver, he's really good. Back to pass, looking down the field, and he is going to reach out for the first down. Mendoza stretches for the first, extends the drive, and will keep the clock running. What a stretch. Good job by Fernando Mendoza. Mendoza is going to be an NFL guy, that's for sure. He's really emerged this year. I don't know how well the RPO translates, but we'll see. And there is a handoff, pushes forward for 4. Clock will continue to run. Ball's out at the 45-yard line of Indiana. I think the games on Indiana's schedule that are going to be, uh, they've still got 3 games that I think propose some potential problems. Penn State, just because they're going to be playing at home and looking to prove something after they fired their coach. I think the UCLA game here at Indiana has a chance to be a high scoring game, and the game at Maryland is going to be tricky. There's the handoff. Nice run. 4-string running back is out on the field right now, and that is Martin, number 28, and he runs for a first down, 10-yard gain. Fernando Mendoza is still at the helm. I'm surprised he's still in the game. I would have set my quarterback down at the end of that third quarter for sure. I was really surprised Vanderbilt beating LSU today, though. There's another run for about 4 yards. Martin getting some work in. Yeah, I always like watching the rankings when they come out. Well, look at that. Texas Tech is losing at Arizona State right now by 9 points in the third quarter, and ASU has the ball. Georgia's about to upset Mississippi. That's the 5 and the 7. Both of them are basically losing right now. There's the handoff, 2nd and 7, and he breaks it. Martin's down inside the 30, down to the 25 to the 23-yard line. Nice burst for a guy that doesn't get to play very often. Just follows the blockers and gets through the hole and runs down inside the 25. Nice breakaway speed there. If he would have had one more block, he'd have made it. 5 rushes for 35 yards today. That's pretty impressive for him. All right, 1st and 10. They're going to pitch it out. There's the cutback, and Kalon Black will get it inside the red zone at the 20-yard line. Set the ball and suddenly two LSU one walk by wearing LSU with the sign. Yeah, Vandy, that Pavia, that quarterback, he's a low center of gravity strong. And Martin runs it down inside to the 15-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and about 1 to 2 yards. Indiana's run 6.5 minutes on this drive off the clock. 2:25 to go in the game. One more 1st down here, and it will pretty much be done. Mendoza on the keeper. Depending upon where they spot him, I don't think they gave him a 1st down. So here's the deal. If they kick the field goal, they cover the spread. If they don't kick the field goal and turn the ball over, they don't cover the spread. And they're going to go for it on 4th down. And even with the rain delay here in Indiana and the same start time, Wisconsin Ohio State game finished before us, and they started at the same time. It's almost craziness. All right. Pittsburgh defense is horrible. Uh, when you got wide receivers and somebody that can throw the ball quick, uh, it makes a difference. Being able to read a defense properly, it was is everything in that offense and getting the ball out quickly, and that is exactly how Pittsburgh lost that game. Pittsburgh's defense is not what it should be, considering it has $170 million in it. Uh, there's some people that are overpaid there, I believe. The defensive line is aging. The secondary is aging, but there's a lot of money being spent in Pittsburgh on defense, and they just didn't show it. But then again, I wouldn't want to try to be defending Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Plus, Cincinnati was able to run the ball. Fourth down and one. Signetti calls timeout. Doesn't like something. And honestly, Kay, I would have preferred them just lose out the rest of the season. To be frank about it, I'd like it. I would like another top five pick. See if they can screw that up. But probably just enough to keep Zach Taylor around. If it was me, pay the I would pay the buyout and have Belichick as my consultant for defense. All right, here we go. Fourth and one. 8 in the box, 10 in the box. And now Michigan State calls timeout. Like there's nothing that really matters in this game at this point other than the clock running. But the good news is you can't call two timeouts in a row. Does Rodgers have old man superpowers? No, but look at it like this. Trey Hendrickson did not play. Our team captain and starting middle linebacker was benched. Our team wasn't captain, but our number one cornerback was benched. Not great, Ringo. When they finally got his, and now they're going to kick the field goal. Jesus Christ. Um, Kick is up, and it is good. 38-10 with 156 to go. There was nobody in Rodgers' face. He had no pressure all day. He just got to sit back there and throw the ball. Yeah, he's going to have a good game. Yeah, that's the best defense to put Aaron Rodgers up against, to be honest. I'll give you that. The one that DJ Turner took away from DK was a big point in the game. And I mean, other than that, Rodgers played pretty flawless. There's just some issues in Pittsburgh. Just for everybody's to know list, Georgia's got the ball. Uh, they're going to have to either punt or kick a field goal here. Fourth down and three. Arizona State still beating Texas Tech, so 5 and 7 are still currently losing. Uh, both are in the fourth quarter. Texas A&M is up on Arkansas right now by going into halftime by 15. Oregon is, after their loss last week, now losing at Rutgers. Yeah, but once again, no pressure from the defense. He got hit very few times by Pittsburgh's D line, and he got to sit there and throw it to Chase and Higgins. And then when they did the double team, then he got to hit Yoshibas down the center of the field. It was pretty easy pickings. See what else I got seeing here. Nothing. Georgia, yeah, like I said, Georgia is up 8. Uh, Texas Tech's down 12 in with 14 to go in the fourth quarter. Yeah, there was no pressure on those quarterbacks. Very rarely in that game. Childs is oh, it's not Childs. They took him out. They got another QB in there. He's going to run it out of bounds for a first down. Milojevic. Eliseo Milivojevic. 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 Can't say his name, but he sure ran for 10 yards. Milio. Blah, 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 blah. All right, 130, 149 to go. 38-10. Michigan State's got the ball. Back to pass, looking. Here comes pressure. He gets it to his check down. First down, 10-yard play. Clock stops while they move the chains. Mississippi's down 8, got the ball with 2 minutes to go. Back to pass, looking, fires it over the middle, and it is caught. Another first down for caught to Boyd. The ball came out a little loose, but he sure got it there in a hurry. I don't care if they win or lose. If Burrow comes back, I'd like to see him in the playoffs, but I don't care. He throws it down the sideline, complete for another first down. Michigan State's got a chance to ruin bettor's odds today, which I don't give a crap about that, but they're getting ready to go in here. 114 to go. This quarterback just come in and started slinging it. Will the Jets win a game this year? I think they win Sunday, Ringo. Back to pass. Here comes pressure, and he is going to get away. He escapes, but he will be sacked, taken down after a couple of hits there. I don't want to say who got him because I don't know. Fernando Mendoza has a shot at the Heisman. Pizzle, he's from your neck of the woods down in South Florida. Him and his brother. What do you think? Back to pass, looking down the field. Has time, fires to the end zone. Whoa. Almost picked off, knocked away at the last second. If the Jets are going to win, they win Sunday or tomorrow. I don't think Arch is going to Miami. Arch is probably going to stay in school. You might get Mendoza if he comes out, or Mateer. Rolls, looks, pressure, hit, incomplete. Fourth down and 12. And Miami's not going to lose out this year. Whoa. One quarterback, one wide receiver, and one lineman for 3v3. Who'd it be? Uh, I'm going to go crazy here. They're sending their field goal kicker out to ruin the spread, and he does. 20 38-13. Let's see. One offensive lineman. I guess it would have to be a center, right? Uh in hit is it now or could it be from any time? Puppet. Take that back, Mr. Miami has. I don't Okay, well I will take Anthony Munoz for my offensive lineman. I will take shoot. I'll take Megatron in his prime, and I will take Peyton Manning. No, wait a minute. I better take a running quarterback. I better take somebody that's athletic and can run. Let me rephrase that. Um, Athletic, they can run the ball. Shoot. I guess I would have to take uh like I don't want to take who I would think I should take. I don't like my choices here. Um I guess Lamar. F it. Lamar, Munoz, and Megatron. I guess I could say, or Trent Williams would be my second pick for a running back or a offensive lineman. Favre in his prime. That's a good one. Hang on, I want to hear. So, man, Signetti's not upset about the way he was very complimentary of Michigan State's offensive play today, so kudos there. Hey, you guys are flipping awesome. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for chilling. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. Go Hoosiers next week. I don't even know who they play next week, but I'm sure it is somebody. I don't know which one it is, but we'll see. Uh, look for this. Look for UST to upset Notre Dame tonight. Just saying. Have a great night. Peace out. Much love. See y'all tomorrow.